following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Besides the Dallas Cowboys, I was never cowboy-minded. You know?
Okay. What do you mean, cowboy-minded?
I never had boots.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I didn't hang around the
stampedes.
farm. Yeah, I didn't hang around the farm. My dad did, but I didn't hang around the farm. I didn't hardly go to East Texas. I was just a brother from the city.
I was the same way.
Yeah.
Growing up in Irving, you know, I thought a cowboy hat was a cowboy helmet.
Right? I'm just saying.
I thought a cowboy hat had a star on it.
And actually, my relatives, especially my mom's side, they rode horses and black cowboys. They got the hats and everything. And I did not get into that at all. It just didn't interest me, man. That's crazy. But I love some cowboys.
But I'm listening to that Stampede song from the 60s. It took me right back to the Ice Bowl. I started feeling some frostbite there. It's the Cowboys and the Packers inside the SWBC podcast studio on a fabulous, frigid football Friday.
Rainy Friday.
It is. It's going to get more frigid.
Yes.
By the way, we need to thank the veterans. It's Veterans Day. Who has a family in the service?
Not currently.
My father was in the service.
Was he?
Two uncles. One lost his life in the service.
Oh, man. Man, that's crazy.
My dad.
Yep.
My nephew flew, and he you know, however they get out, and he, you know, just flies
commercial now.
Commercial now. Yeah.
Dad was actually a POW.
Really?
Yeah.
That's right.
How long?
From January through April.
And you were, how old were you?
No, this was World War II.
Oh, okay.
Going back.
Wow.
This was the big war.
Yeah.
Came out 95 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where was he?
It started off in France, and I think it might have migrated to Germany. They moved him.
Yeah.
Like at night, so they couldn't see. They put him in boxcars.
And he was able to tell you these stories later?
Finally. He didn't like.
Took him a while.
He didn't like talking about it.
I bet.
And a lot of others. I mean, they did the little town in Florida where he was living. They had a World War II veterans celebration every year, and it was a real small town. And the newspaper would come and interview the different guys. So they interviewed my dad, and I'm reading the story, and I'm going, how come I never heard that? It's like they asked him what it was like. So he landed on Omaha Beach D-Day 2, so June 8th, not the 6th. And they said something. They asked him a question. What's your first thing you remember when you landed on Omaha Beach? And he said, well, we got in the water and we had to try to take the beach, and it was pretty secure, but not. And he goes, the guy next to me got his head blown off.
Yeah.
And I'm going, what about me?
Yeah.
I didn't all these years, and I got to read it in a paper.
But reporters they have that kind of thing to where you can get something out of them that
they
won't ever tell their family.
They didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, it was just an accepted thing that, you know, we fought in the war, and, you know, that's the way it was. And
my dad never talked much about it, not telling about, but just how that generation is. He never talked much about his football career at all. I just saw the picture there. And he never really.
It was like that's normal,
that's
right?
normal
It was no
for them.
big
They
deal.
just don't talk like.
I know.
Yeah. Could you imagine our dads on a podcast?
Oh my! My dad did have a gift to gab, right? I mean, I told you, he's from Louisiana, so he's got a little Cajun in him.
I bet.
And that was a great mix, an Italian Cajun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my!
Well, yeah, they a lot of them migrated there.
Yeah,
coming in. That's good work down there, man, on the pier.
His parents were from Sicily, from Palermo.
Yeah, but so thank the veterans
yes.
for
so
your
thankful.
service and everything you've done, family and friends.
Yep. All right, so we got Cowboys and the Packers.
Cowboys-Packers.
3:25 on Sunday afternoon. And
All right, pick the click. I'm ready.
Ready? Where were you watching the Ice Bowl?
I was probably sitting up there watching a black and white TV.
That's right. We went through that already this week. Mike McCarthy on his birthday last night, 59th birthday. He celebrated it by taping his TV show, and
a new episode.
That's how he celebrated. Yeah,
That's
I'm sure
right.
he said, okay.
Hey, wait, he's right.
Is he?
Because he was home alone.
That's right.
He kept talking about Home Alone because his wife and I guess the kids went back to Green Bay.
They've already gone back. This
yeah.
is for the McCarthy family. This is the homecoming game,
man.
Hey, they probably have the homecoming mums and everything.
Yeah, right. 40 or 50 tickets he's responsible for.
That's right.
He said actually it was good. He goes like it was a peaceful evening, and I got a lot of good sleep because I didn't have to worry about anybody else.
Yep. And one of the things that he told me that would be great for the team is because with the temperatures falling here in the Metroplex, when they work out tomorrow before getting on that charter for Green Bay, they will be able to simulate the weather in Green Bay, which will be in the 30s come kickoff, and it's supposed to be in the 30s tomorrow here.
See, I was wondering if he was going to, baby them, pamper them and just let them go inside.
I'll guarantee you the Packers aren't practicing outdoors
because they live there.
Yeah, but they don't play. They only play half the season there.
So
he made it sound like they'll go ahead and do their workout tomorrow outdoors.
So what do you think
Packers?
that's unnecessary?
No, the Cowboys.
No, I meant the Packers.
Right,
do you think that's necessary? The Cowboys
to get used to the weather? No, you don't never get used to the cold.
Have you ever thought that?
You don't get used to the cold.
You don't like that practice? You don't believe in that practice?
No, I don't think it. I think practicing is more important than getting used to the weather.
All right, so how would
what
you?
If it was snowing?
If you were the coach tomorrow,
it's going to snow on the other team, and I'll guarantee you the Packers aren't practicing.
Okay, if you're Mike McCarthy,
yes,
and we're going to set up practice for tomorrow before they get on that plane. How would you do it? Would you do it inside Ford Center or would you do it outside?
If it's just cold, I'm outside.
Like today.
If it's like today and it's raining, I'm indoors.
Not with rain, no.
And if it's windy, I'm indoors because the wind can screw up a practice faster than anything else, right? I want to make sure everybody knows what they're doing.
That's unusual. I thought you'd be on the other side of this, Spags. I'm very. What about snow? Once again, so if it's snowing in Green Bay, we just happen to get the weather here and it starts snowing here.
You're going to go practice out in the snow?
Right. No.
I'll guarantee you.
I feel the sarcasm dripping from your lips.
The Packers don't go outside. Did you? When it snowed in New York, did you guys go indoors?
You damn right.
Not
indoors. No, we were outdoors.
Well, you probably didn't have
an
indoor facility.
Indoors, right?
Yeah.
We were always in the Meadowlands. We would practice. On the field, on the game field, in the stadium when the weather got bad because the turf
was no good.
Yeah, it was no turf.
Yeah, but but now that they have an indoor facility, I guarantee you they go inside.
That's unusual. I thought you were old school.
I am, but it's silly, right? It's like
I agree with you, brother.
If it's 100 degrees outside,
I'm the one out there being used.
If it's 100 degrees outside, I'm not going and practicing my team outside in 100 degrees.
You know that's common practice, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It is common practice.
Well, they practice indoors when it's 100 degrees.
Let's think about this. Bill Belichick, was it 3 years ago, maybe 4? You saw the guys walking to practice in the snow,
right?
Because they had to play a game in the snow on Sunday. You remember that, right?
And then what happens if it doesn't snow? And then you wasted a practice.
It's New England. It's going to snow. So, he made them. I remember seeing the video. One of the guys was upset. He had all his hoodie on and everything, and he's walking to practice in the snow. And he was mad that Bill is making us practice in the snow to be accustomed to the elements.
Then the game should be called off. You don't play baseball in the snow.
That's not a good analogy.
Well, I just think, it's football. You got to play in the elements. Why? There's no other sport that plays in the elements.
I wish you were around when I played, I tell you.
Who plays in the elements? That's why when they have the Super Bowl, they normally don't play anywhere where the weather's going to be bad. Same thing.
But this is football.
Well, it's a silly thing, right? They don't water down the basketball court, and it's like slip and slide.
They do water down the field.
Well, I've seen that happen.
Yeah,
I'm just happy that my girls played basketball and not soccer.
And you didn't have to worry
so
about
they were able,
elements.
So when we went to go watch them play, they're basketball and volleyball. They're indoor sports, and so you don't have to sit out in 30 degrees weather.
That is one reason I wanted to be a basketball player. Because
you were
I did
indoors?
not want to be. Yes, I didn't want all that
All right,
crap.
tell us about this injury report. What are we concerned with?
There's not much. I still think Anthony Barr is really the only guy at this point that's for sure probably not going to play. Now, he hasn't practiced every day, and as Mike McCarthy kind of said, or I did, I've listed him as doubtful. And
on the Mickey official injury report,
he's doubtful. Well, Mike said everybody looks like they have a chance except for Anthony Barr. He kind of put it that way. Yeah. I don't think he said have a chance, but he looks like I think he said he's the one that has the least chance of playing. So they've listed Noah Brown and Ezekiel Elliott as limited.
Okay.
Donovan Wilson is limited, but it's a tooth, so they'll take care of that. And then
a tooth.
Maybe he had to have a tooth taken out or something. I don't know, but it says tooth, so I'm assuming no one hit him in the mouth or anything like that. Everybody else is being listed as full except for Barr, DNP'd, and limited Noah Brown and Ezekiel Elliott. And
did you see Zeke yesterday at practice?
I'm told he took snaps, not all of them. And I don't remember if I said this yesterday. When the practice reports, it says participation. So when they say limited, he's not physically limited. He limited in how many snaps he takes.
So it's okay to talk about him practicing.
And I'm thinking,
I don't want to get any trouble here.
If you look about, if you think about it realistically, if he wasn't going to play, or if they thought he wasn't going to play, they wouldn't have given him snaps in practice and wasted it on him when somebody else that would have to play. So it sounds like he had some snaps. So that kind of gives you hope, and I think they'll take it to Saturday to see exactly where he is.
You didn't see him practice?
I think Noah Brown, I did not see that part of the practice, because we were doing our show.
I did.
You did. And?
He was high-stepping.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he was high-stepping. He was trying to show, I believe, that he's ready. Because he took one, and I was just, we had just finished the show. I had just gotten my lunch, and I was walking back by and talking with the young security guy, and we were looking. And he broke through on the offensive right side, off tackle, dipped in, dipped back outside, and he was looking like a thoroughbred.
Well, we're going to say ready to go.
He looking like a thoroughbred. He was definitely trying to prove a point by show horsing.
And I think, I think Jerry even said today on his radio segment that he thought Zeke was good to go. So we'll see. Okay. But they'll. I
wanted to make sure I wasn't.
They'll keep it close to the vest.
Yeah.
And whatever Dr. Jerry says on his radio
that's
show.
Right.
Right.
Dr. Jerry.
We named him that long time
comes
ago.
to fruition.
Right.
Yeah.
Get the injury report from Jerry.
The last time that the Cowboys went to Lambeau Field,
2016.
In 2016, we all remember Dak. We talked about it earlier in the week. What Dak did in that game, he had 3 touchdown passes, had the one pick, Joe Thomas. Cowboys won that game 30-16. You remember what Zeke did in that game.
I
asked McCarthy. No, that was the game we were talking about with Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was Pittsburgh.
I asked Mike McCarthy last night about his memory of Dak in that game, because that's basically when he arrived as a rookie quarterback, and of course McCarthy being on the other side. And what McCarthy said, what I remember more than anything from that game was Zeke running all over us, and he ran for 158 yards in that game.
Yeah.
Now that's the same year that they met in the playoffs, right?
And
that was at that game.
Yeah,
I was at that game.
Yeah.
To me, that was a nice rival as
Mike
well.
remembers that game better than
bet he does. Yeah.
Cowboys won like 30-16.
30-16, and then it was
in the
the
playoffs.
Jared Cook game in the playoffs.
And then
Yeah.
So you know
Dak
what?
had a great game that game.
Yes,
the
he did.
comeback.
I went back and looked,
amazing.
and I wrote it down. I don't have it. I think the Cowboys only have 6 guys on the team now that played in that game.
Wow.
All right, that's a good trivia question.
is.
We're going to name them right now. Let's do it right now. Got Dak, Zeke, Zach. And Tyron, does he count because he's...
Well, you can count him. He's on the team.
Okay, there's 4.
But
is he one of the 6?
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Was D-Law there?
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Okay.
He started in 14.
Anthony Brown?
Yep. And I believe that's it.
Wow.
That would be 6.
6 years ago. Yeah.
That was a heck of a game.
Shows you the turnover, how quickly.
And I was talking about the game up there, not the playoff game.
Of course.
Somebody else might have snuck in there. I don't know. But I just looked at the roster for the regular season game.
The regular season game.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it probably was the same.
Yeah, probably not changed much.
Yeah. All right, we're just getting started on this edition of Mick's Shots. And Mick, do you have a Mick shot this Friday? A fabulous football frenzied Friday?
I already had it about the weather.
Well, you got to come up with another one. I want another Mick shot.
All right.
Okay, because I want Producer Supreme to do some
play
work
some
here
music.
Too. That's right. And Mick Shots continues in a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. From corporate homes to your home, have your roof checked by choice, not by chance. Call now, 214-225-4860, kpostcompany.com.
All right, we're getting you set for Cowboys and Packers on Sunday at Lambeau Field. And
did you go to the 66th NFL
Did I
championship
go to it?
game? Yeah.
I did not, but I don't remember. And
like
what Mickey's referring to is not the Ice Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's the game at the Cotton Bowl that was played at home. It was the NFL championship game
at the Cotton Bowl, right?
At the Cotton Bowl. And where's the media guide? I got to refresh my memory on it.
Sorry.
But what I remember on it was, again, would it have been blacked out locally?
Probably.
I remember listening to it on the radio.
Sky, I mean, I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably blacked
so it
out.
may have been blacked out locally. Can you imagine that? A playoff game, a championship game.
You said you had a place to go.
Blacked out. Now, we had my dad had a Cowboys antenna.
Oh, yeah.
And so, which sometimes worked and sometimes didn't.
It was a Cowboys antenna.
I mean, what a Cowboys antenna was, it was a humongous antenna that people had on top of their house. And my dad had guide wires going to the fence. We had a twister come through one time and took our fence, blew it over the house, whatever. And the Cowboy antenna got sent all over the city of Irving. I mean, weeks later, we would have have people returning parts of the Cowboy antenna to our house. Is this y'all's? You're the one with the Cowboy antenna.
You didn't have an antenna?
No, we didn't have any of that.
So sometimes, depending on the weather, I guess, sometimes it was kind of snowy watching. So that game was played at the Cotton Bowl, but in my memory of it, it was snowing because I was watching on the Cowboy antenna. Yeah.
Most likely, after a while, you got pretty frustrated and just went outside and played football with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
So that game, too, was close to a holiday.
It was New Year's. It was New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve, I'm sorry. I was looking at the Ice. The Ice Bowl was New Year's Eve.
Because they played them twice in 1 year.
In the '66 game was New Year's Day.
New Year's Day,
and it was a 34-27 loss to the Packers. I mean, that's how close Landry came to beating Lombardi in that game, and then the next year in the Ice Bowl. And by the way, it was pointed out on Twitter that Landry did beat Lombardi when Lombardi went to Washington.
I said with the Packers.
Okay. But he did.
I know he beat him.
That doesn't really count.
He beat him twice in 69.
Okay, I wasn't correcting you, Mickey. I was just clarifying.
I just wanted to make sure.
I was just clarifying.
But he was clarifying not to you, but to Twitter, correct?
That's right.
Yeah. There's a lot of clarification on Twitter needed.
So, that's how far the rivalry goes back.
So it was Brown was coaching the Browns, right? Brown was coaching the Cleveland Browns. Paul Brown.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's how they got their name. They kicked our butts all the time. I hated seeing the Browns come to town.
Except in 1967 in the Eastern Championship game when the Cowboys won 52-14, and that got them in the Ice Bowl in 1967.
Finally.
But to your point,
Cleveland.
and that's where the Cowboys became known as next year's champions because of their games against Cleveland.
That's right.
In fact,
and Green Bay.
in 1968, the Eastern Championship game at Cleveland, 31-20, Cowboys lost. And then the Cowboys played in the playoff bowl game in Miami against Minnesota and won. This is just a history lesson. Okay,
Miami.
In the NFL, once a team got knocked out of the playoffs at the end of the season, they actually played a bowl game, an NFL bowl game.
They're killing it with these bowl games.
Yeah.
That was the only way to make money back then in sports.
Whatever. You talk about how meaningless a game could possibly be.
Does it go
in the
towards your
NFL?
record?
65.
They played it in 65. The Cowboys did not make the playoffs in 65 and played in the playoff bowl game, which was just an exhibition game, lost to Baltimore.
The numbers don't count.
No.
The numbers.
No.
What?
It would be like the college
They did get paid, right?
It's like the college all-star game.
They got paid, right?
Oh, I'm sure they did.
I don't know if it – yeah. So anyway, it was considered, quote-unquote, a postseason game Okay, so it didn't go on regular season stats.
But still, does it go into post-game stats?
No.
Post-season stats?
No.
Yeah, so.
It didn't count.
It just didn't count.
Why is it in the media guide? Why did it even happen?
Why did it happen?
So anyway.
It was like a preseason game.
This is stuff
right, for the next year.
I don't even remember. This is stuff I
well,
don't even remember.
there was no reason to watch it.
No reason to remember.
That's right. All right, so the Cowboys lost to the Browns in 68 in the Eastern Championship game, and then again in 1969, and they went to the playoff bowl game and lost to the Rams again.
Damn.
So anyway, and then finally there was the breakthrough in 1970 where the Cowboys made it to the Super Bowl and in controversial fashion lost to Baltimore. Thanks to a ridiculous
fumble
officials.
deal.
The fumble down on the goal line that Dave Manders recovered. All right, and then 1971, Cowboys won the Super Bowl. So there's your history
Charlie
lesson.
Waters jumping up and down when Mackey caught the touchdown pass. That's what I recall.
So they were screwing the Cowboys
even then.
All right, what concerns you about these Green Bay Packers?
Well, number one, they're the Packers, which hasn't boded well for the Cowboys over the years. And number two, where's my Packer guide here? I had it marked.
They do have Aaron Rodgers on their team.
And,
Will McClay.
And that.
Will McClay showed something on our Telestrator segment on the Mike McCarthy show. Rodgers play. He showed 3 different plays from Rodgers and how he still is doing the same stuff he's done throughout his career and still has the athleticism and so forth. There was one pass he threw, though. He stepped up in the pocket, avoided the rush, and threw downfield, and it looked like it should have gone to Alan Lazard, and it went to Randall Cobb behind him. There were 4 defenders that he threaded the needle through his own player, Lazard, and 2 other defenders to Randall Cobb. I mean, the guy still has it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that because Cobb's on IR.
Yeah, but
no, you're right.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm worried about. Check out these numbers: 111, 203, 199, 94, 208, and 106. That is 6 of 9 games that they have rushed for at least 94 yards.
That's what I'm concerned about.
And 3, at least 199. They have run the football well. They've got numbers that kind of belie their record. They lost the game to Detroit, right? They had 384 yards offense in that game.
Yeah. And that was a close game.
389. The week before against Buffalo, they had 398. So they just haven't made plays, and it kind of. And the other thing that bothers me is the percentages. They've lost 5 straight. At some point, they're going to win one, right? You just hope it's not against you.
Exactly.
Right? The percentages are with them.
Yeah.
Well, what concerns me is not just the yards, but how they're getting them. And you talked about it in regards to the running game. And if there's a way to beat the Dallas Cowboys, it's to run against them, to keep that defense on the field and keep our offense off the field.
Right.
And if our offense plays along with that and comes out and goes 3 and out too many different times, then we're looking at the same old formula that's been failing us for the last 3 years.
Right.
And that's us underachieving because we can't stop them from doing what they want to do.
Yeah, and if you perform offensively, then that could take the ability to run the ball away
out of
from
their
them,
hands.
right?
Correct.
And they got to play catch up.
Yes.
And that's what you want with this defense because of your ability to rush the quarterback.
And you said earlier this week, I agree. You need to come out strong.
Yeah.
We offensively, we just can't. Let's try to crank that car up. We can't go through that. We can't have a cold engine. We got to come out there hot and ready to go.
And I think that's one of the things that McCarthy got asked this question, but I don't think he understood where Brad Sham was going. He asked him about looking at statistics and how he looks at the statistics of the first part of the season to now. And I think where Brad was going was, they had trouble on third down, and there were various other things. But do you look at statistics as with Dak Prescott and without Dak Prescott, right? Because a lot of those third down problems were those 5 games that he missed.
Yeah.
So I don't know that you lump all these things and say, okay, this is a problem. Like scoring, right? And I understand he played in the first game and they only kicked a field goal against Tampa. But, these last 6 quarters that he's played, he's been pretty darn good.
And I want to see if he can continue that.
Right. And I think that's what we got to find. That's what we got to find out.
Under these harsh conditions.
Right?
But it's that wounded tiger.
Yeah.
That you look at from this game from the Packers' perspective and where they are in their season at 3-6 right now, and where the Vikings are in their season. What are they, 6-1?
Yep.
7-1.
7-1. All right, and they go to Buffalo. If they lose that game, then they got Dallas. Minnesota's got Dallas. Okay.
In Minnesota.
Yeah, but let's say that Minnesota lost those 2 games. Now they're 7-3. Well, the Packers can get back in this thing if they can beat Dallas, if they can beat Tennessee, if they can beat Philadelphia. Those are 3 tough opponents they've got coming up. And so the way they're looking at it is this is the point of their season where they got to start doing something.
And one thing I like about Rodgers, if I'm a Packers fan, is the fact that he not just always seems to have it under control, but he's the person that you want to put the ball in his hands if you're going to remedy the situation that you have right now. Yes, he's been the one that's been making the bad decisions, been throwing some of the interceptions, but he's not a 2-time player of the year just by giving up or just consistently doing things in a bad way.
Oh, don't you know he's grinding right now?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Watching film and trying to remember who said it. Was one of the defensive guys. It might have been DeMarcus Lawrence saying that the scary thing about him is he knows what he's doing and he's trying to dictate everything. And if you remember, one of the things when the Cowboys lost to them those couple times, he caught them trying to change personnel on the field.
Yeah.
It's like you see somebody running off and he's going up there and they're hiking it. And okay, there's a free 5 yards. And he's pretty darn good at it, too.
And if he keep the linebackers in, then he's going to be throwing the ball.
Yeah. That reminds me earlier this season where I don't remember who they were playing, but Romo was doing the game, and Rodgers, the other team was trying to get guys off the field, whatever, and the crowd mic picked up the field mic picked up Rodgers with a profanity, telling the center to snap the ball.
Snap the ball.
And so Romo says to Dan, says, "Jim, did you hear that?" Aaron said, "Come on, guys, let's snap the ball."
I did hear that.
Come on, hurry up, let's go.
And he's awfully good at it. So yeah, those guys know that they've got their hands full. They're not sitting here like everybody else, and they don't give you the 4.5 points that Vegas does.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, I'm with you guys. This is a pretty darn good test. I don't care that they lost 5 straight.
Is this your Mick shot?
Yeah, maybe it is.
Yeah,
because 3-6 doesn't mean anything
Producer
once you hit
Supreme. This is the Mick shot coming up here.
3-6.
Let them have it. Let them have it, Mickey. Let's go.
And it's almost like you don't want it to be bad weather, because if it's bad weather, they might run the ball more than they would if it was good weather.
So it won't be precipitation, right?
I saw there was a percentage. It wasn't.
Nah, it's just going to be maybe windy at the most.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty fair game.
And cold. And as Zach Martin said, 30 degrees, that's not cold.
Even for me, that's not cold.
Right?
I hate cold.
I'm not real pleased with Mick's shot there. Let's try it.
We have to try it again and come up with something.
Mickey,
put me on the
Landry.
I know, right?
Mickey, Landry did beat Lombardi a couple of times, but he was with Washington.
That's right. Only twice.
Mm-hmm.
Both times.
Come on.
So don't be telling me.
There you go. There's a Mick shot. There you go. That's a Mick shot. That's what we're looking at of you.
Like I said.
Hey, here's another one. When McCarthy talks about, the girls and the family, it dawned on me yesterday that since Tom Landry, the Cowboys have had only one other coach besides McCarthy that had children as when he was the head coach. It would have been Dave Campo. I mean, young children.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, they had children.
Children that were like school age?
Yeah, school age.
Okay,
yeah.
school age children. Yeah.
Because Jimmy's sons were in college, I believe. Switzer.
Switzer's son had a son in college.
His daughter had just finished college.
I do remember him going to a high school football game, I thought, when he was coach here, and he got criticized for it.
I thought it was college. Was it high school?
Maybe it was a college game.
I thought it was a college
I don't know
game.
that he played. I don't remember. Okay.
But he wasn't living with him, I don't think,
right.
at that time.
Yeah.
And then Gailey Campo had a child later. Parcells, they were grown by then. They were telling Parcells what to do.
Wade, grown.
Daughter was grown. Yeah. And then Jason didn't have kids.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
So there you go.
Kind of dawned on me because I was thinking, this is weird. We're talking about family, and it's like, well, okay, other than your wife, So Tom would have been the first. Well,
what you've got is a trend here of hiring coaches that are
younger.
No, I'm saying that Jerry has hired coaches that are older.
Yeah.
But for the most part, though, Jason wasn't that.
More established. Yeah.
All right, we got our picks to click. And who's going to win? It sounds to me like Mickey might have a surprise for us on who's going to win this game on Sunday when Mick Shots comes back.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh. She's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field, United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf, for winning. The official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more. Back to Mick Shots.
Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour comes to AT&T Stadium for 2 nights on April 1st and 2nd, 2023. Tickets go on sale Friday, November 18th, but you can sign up for the Taylor Swift Tix pre-sale powered by Verified Fan today at taylorswift.com/events.
I could see you at a Taylor Swift concert.
You could.
Stag. Yeah. I could see you going giddy.
That's hard to say, eras, like multiple era.
I can see you going giddy over Taylor.
Do we want to point out what Producer Supreme just told us?
Man, amazing stuff, man.
Now, we were talking earlier in the show about how many Cowboys players are still on the team who were on the team in 2016 when the Cowboys last went to Lambeau Field. And we were just doing a little glance at the Packers roster. And Aaron Rodgers, Randall Cobb, who is injured, David Bakhtiari, the tackle, and Kenny Clark, defensive tackle, are 4 that are on their roster who were on the roster in 2016. And there's one other person who is going to be on the field, who was on the field for the 2016 Cowboys win over the Packers.
You didn't have to bring me up. I was on the field before the game.
That doesn't count.
Okay.
Not you, Mick.
Darn.
The referee, Brad Allen, was.
Brad Allen.
Okay, same referee as for the 2016 game.
That's crazy.
So that is a great omen for the Cowboys, right?
I got to say, as a player, you guys really overanalyze things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
But it's cool. It's cool.
Jim Maurer and Britt Brown were on the field.
More importantly.
Cowboys trainers.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Okay. More importantly,
on the sideline,
who won't be on the field is the referee from the 2014 playoff game.
Yeah.
And that was Gene Steratore.
He's in the booth somewhere.
Did he screw us? He didn't.
That was the Des.
Catch, no catch.
Man, get out of here.
Answer your own question.
We don't want him anywhere around.
Answer your own
We don't
question.
want him anywhere around.
And Tony Correnti was the referee for the playoff game that same year.
In 2016.
16, yes. We played Green Bay at AT&T Stadium.
Mm-hmm. Those aren't fond memories there. Oh, no. There's another guy, Mason Crosby. That's a fifth player. Mason Crosby.
Yes.
And he's the kicker for Green Bay,
okay.
who made the field goal in that game.
What
and
a field
he
goal.
has been going back. I have to look up when Crosby, 2017. I mean, he was 2007. I have it written down here. Yep, he was a 6th-round pick in 2007.
How's
so
he
McCarthy's
second
year,
50-plus yarder that he
he's
hit.
Good enough that he's still in the league.
That's right, and the same team.
He's still kicking.
Same
was
team.
58?
In fact, McCarthy said, I was talking about the wind conditions and what's he hearing about what the wind will be like, and it sounds like it won't be that windy. And talking to McCarthy about how much did he feel like he had a home field advantage at Lambeau. And he was talking about, they've added on to the stadium so much here in recent years that the wind has changed.
Not as much of a factor.
Yeah, and in fact, he said he hears that it may be the largest crowd ever for a game at Lambeau
I'm not
Field.
surprised.
And it seats around 80,000 now. And
That's nice.
But he said that he may go up to Crosby before the game and say hi, how's family,
put
and
a
all
bug
that
in
stuff,
his
and then also ask him how's the wind doing
right.
these days?
How do you handle that?
Yeah, that's right. So.
He's made 9 of 11 this year.
Yeah.
So that year, that game, was it 58 or like 53? I can't remember what the.
It was beyond 50. I know that.
Yeah,
but it was like as soon as they completed the pass to Jared Cook, he just had a feeling he's going to make this.
He's going to make it because that's just how it was going on that drive.
That's right.
And the ball started outside the upright.
Came right back in. No, that was a beautiful kick. Yeah. It tore me up.
I thought it was an ugly kick.
Yeah, well, it was ugly, but for the sake of just being a ball getting kicked, that was so dramatic.
It was 51 yards.
That's all?
And Dan Bailey, no, I'm sorry. Okay, I take it back. What am I looking at here?
It was about
the regulation, no, I'm sorry. With 133 left in the game, Crosby made the 56-yarder to put the Packers up 31-28. Cowboys came back down with 35 seconds left. Dan Bailey made a 52-yarder to tie the game at 31. And then that's when we thought we were going to overtime here, and Rodgers made the completion, got out of the pocket, down the sideline right in front of the Cowboy bench.
He had done that 2 times in previous games that year.
And then on the final play of the game, Crosby from 51.
And see, that's what made me so mad about that game. It's not a surprise that Rodgers did what he did. I mean, the exact same move that he did against Detroit, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it was the Cardinals. That same
the spin around.
The spin around. So okay, here it is, guys. All right, coach, hey, players, let's get around here. Don't let Rodgers get out of the pocket. He's had 2 Hail Marys this year already. And sure enough, that's what we did.
He wouldn't have got out of the pocket if they didn't hold.
I remember you talking about
Who'd
that.
they hold from behind? Was it was it Randy Gregory?
It was a defensive end.
Lineman.
It was a defensive end.
They grabbed him from behind. They had bear hugged him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got there. I didn't realize when I saw the play again this week that not only did he get out to his left to the sideline, he actually ran up. I mean, he was almost to the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball.
He had to be, because that was a pass that needed to be drilled.
And then Cook, with his feet were like inches from being out.
He's one of the better tight ends you ever want to see around.
From being out of bounds.
Where is he now? Is he still?
I think he is somewhere.
Because he's always landed.
He was with the
Raiders at one point. I know that's not a good thing.
He came back to play against the Cowboys.
He's not even playing.
Where was he last year?
He was with the Chargers last year.
Yeah, I thought, because they had problems with him in that game in L.A.
It's injuries. He's having injury problems, too.
And 2 years prior to that with the Saints, and then he was with the Raiders in 17 and 18. He was just with the Packers for that one season in 2016.
All it had to be was the one game.
Yeah, well, he got paid after that.
Yeah, you're right.
He got paid.
Everybody knew who he was, right?
That's right.
And one other player, Dean Lowry, was on the current roster for the Packers. He was on the roster in 2016. All right, picks to click. Go.
Picks to click. All right. I am looking at one of our – first of all, Parsons is back on.
All okay, right. We can pick Parsons.
We can pick Parsons now.
Okay,
come
so
out of the bye week.
I'm going first.
Fresh start here.
All right, even with that, Parsons will be double-teamed a lot, and you know who always feasts when Parsons gets double-teamed. I'm looking at Doris Armstrong. Will have at least 2 sacks this game. Packers going to lose 31-13. Cowboys are going to come out of their bag, I think, and I'm hoping that they come out of their bag and score at will while at least holding off the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. Right. 31-13, Armstrong with 2 sacks plus.
All right.
I ain't playing. Micah Parsons.
Parsons,
because I think he will end up at some point, if they're running the ball, he's going to be at linebacker, maybe a little bit more on first and second down, and he's going to stop that running game, and I've got the Cowboys 27-17.
27-17.
I've got a guarantee for you. I'm winning this week.
Okay. Which one?
I'm winning both.
You're going to guarantee both.
You can put it in 3. This is after talking to Jimmy this week. You can put it in 3-inch headlines. We will win the game, and it will be Trayvon Diggs, who is the star of this game, and you know one of the reasons why is because he's coached by a guy who's in the Packers Hall of Fame, Al Harris.
There you go.
Al Harris, who is a 2-time Pro Bowler with the Green Bay Packers, is going back to Lambeau Field. And he's going to coach up his guy, Trayvon Diggs.
He along with 10 other guys on the coaching staff.
You want,
but not 10 other guys aren't in the Packers Hall of Fame, Mickey.
Can we go to
Can
the
I do
Hall
a
of Fame?
Mick shot myself?
Yes.
Mickey, there's only one in the Packers Hall of Fame. It's Al Harris.
So were you looking for a certain amount of picks, or you just look at him just balling out?
He's going to have a pick.
Okay.
He will have a pick of Aaron Rodgers.
There you go. I like that.
Let's make it a pick 6.
Oh.
No, we make it a pick 6. And here's your final score as we hearken back 55 years ago to the Ice Bowl, 21-17. The Cowboys with revenge on the Packers. That was the score of the Ice Bowl, 21-17. This time, the tables are turned. Thanks to Trayvon Diggs and Packers Hall of Famer Al Harris.
Packers Hall of Famer.
He is a Packers Hall of Famer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is the pressure on him to win this game, too?
That's right.
Well, we don't even think about him. We always talk about McCarthy, but he's going back home as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, Joe Philbin, offensive line coach.
Jeff Blasco, Rob Davis.
Oh, yeah.
But none of them are in the Packers.
Joe Witt. No, Joe Witt Jr.
And one has a streak.
McCurley.
So you got McCarthy with a streak, and you got the Hall of Famer in Harris.
That's right. Yep.
So that I think that I didn't realize they have all of these ex-Packers on the staff.
Yeah,
that bodes very well for us.
Mm-hmm.
I really think
it's homecoming.
Mike said there was 10 others.
Yeah. That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
And there's probably a couple.
So we're going back in we back. What's up?
Anyway, so there you go. We've got our picks.
All right.
3:25 Sunday afternoon, and we're back here at noon on Monday to discuss it all on a Victory Monday.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!